I think for many of us, the name M. Night Shyamalan, the director, his name became known for his twist endings, especially for those like myself who saw his movie The Sixth Sense. When I first saw The Sixth Sense in the theater, I didn't know what to think about the when I was watching. I did not see that ending coming. Now I didn't notice some of the scenes. There was something weird going on between, especially when Bruce Willis's character would interact with his wife or go to see her. It was like shot very oddly. I knew something was going on with that, but when the reveal at the end of it, when that happened, I was just like, wow, that just like completely blew my mind. I did not see it coming. And I think after that, there were some very high expectations for his films to have a twist ending, and not many of them actually do have a twist ending. The Village does, and which I think the ending's fine, but it didn't blow people's mind like The Sixth Sense, and you could never really get back to that type of ending. Today we're going to talk about his newest film called Trap. Now this is a new 4K version of the movie, and this stars Josh Hartnett. Trap, there is a twist in the film, but he doesn't wait until the end to blow that twist. And we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. If you haven't done so already, I would recommend go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm Dave Watkins, Watkins Films. Now, this film, this is the first time watching it. I didn't see it in the theater. This is a psychological thriller. It's not necessarily a horror film, but it is psychological thriller, and there is a twist in it, but it's done fairly early in the film, and later on there's some micro twist, but nothing that's really going to blow anyone's mind, or even it's more of the later twists are more plot points to me than they are twist, and it works. I think that over time people have started to like be okay with their mind not being blown away by the ending. Now he has done some recent ones, I think called The Visit. It was a found footage film. Now there's a twist in it, but it's not nothing. When they're watching these M. Night Shyamalan films after The Sixth Sense, they were like looking at it. He got them with The Sixth Sense, or a lot of people. Some people he may not have gotten. They may have saw it coming, but after that they were ready. They were watching it. They were looking for that twist, and so it was a lot harder to trick people after that. I don't know if he necessarily. I mean, with that for The Sixth Sense, he did want to trick people, obviously, but after that, it was like he was kind of pigeonholed into this twisty type of film. Which most of his films, including Trap, there is a twist, and we're about to talk about it. I'm going to reveal it in this video because it really makes. I mean, obviously twists are going to make the film, but since the twist happened so early here, most of the film is about what happens after that reveal, and I guess it could be more of a plot point than a twist. I want to point out Signs too. Now, Signs didn't really have a twist ending. Now, people were thinking maybe something weird was going on with this alien invasion, but then the aliens actually showed up, and that's not really a twist, but it's like it makes it like, okay, we thought there was a twist coming, but there's not. There's aliens. There's really are aliens. So the film's about a father named Cooper, played by Josh Hartnett, who's bringing his daughter Riley to a pop artist concert. Here, the pop artist name is Lady Raven, which I guess is kind of a mixture of Lady Gaga and maybe a Taylor Swift sort of character, but basically a pop artist who there's a huge amount of fandom for this character, and especially in younger women. And this is a fairly popular character in recent films, especially in Smile 2, the main character was a pop artist singer. Now in this film, Lady Raven is played by Shyamalan's daughter, Saleka Night Shyamalan, and she turns in a really good performance, really. I remember when Shyamalan did the movie The Lady in the Lake, I believe is what it was called, and he played a pretty big character in it, not really the main character, but he got a lot of shit from the critics for casting himself in that. He's always cast himself in smaller parts, which I think he should. I mean, it's his movie. But the thing is, here he cast his daughter. I like the way that he did it. He doubled down on the critics saying, it's more like a fuck you. I'm going to go ahead and cast myself in this, which he does. He gives himself a smaller role, and he casts his daughter in it as well, and she does a good job. And she's very convincing. She's up on stage, and she sings some songs, and the songs sound like something I think that these young teenager women would like. They actually sound pretty good. Sounds like something that could pop up on the radio and people would be like into it. Now the way that they're acting in this concert, when they're hearing it, they're almost acting like the way that when you see footage of Elvis fans like hearing Elvis singing, it was just like, oh my god. So it's like this sort of a sort of phenomenon that I think started with that, and then the Beatles. Maybe they still do it. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but it is almost like they're so overwhelmed with joy. They're hearing this music and they can't believe that this famous person is up there singing it. So he's bringing his daughter, and he seems like a really good father. It's like he's got like a good relationship with his daughter. He's a very charismatic person, and he's able to, in cutely trying to understand his daughter's love of this music, and even trying to understand some slang terms that don't really compute with him. Like crispy, for instance, means like a good thing, and he's like, so if I were to walk in and say like extra fried, would that be even more crispy? Because that's better. And she's like, no, don't. Let's not talk about the words anymore, because that's not going to work, apparently. I wonder if that's actually like really something that people say, or if that's made up for the movie, because I've never heard that, but it could be. And there's always these things with these slang terms, with even like with, you know, when I was a teenager, there's like some really stupid words that people use that were, I guess, identify you as, but it also ages. It also like ages what if you're using those slang terms in a film. It's not a good idea most of the time, and it works fine in this situation because they're kind of just talking about it. If they were to sit here and use the dialogue and use whatever stupid slang words that people are using now, and it just wouldn't work, because later on it would be dated, like in 5 years from now, when those words aren't being used anymore. So ready for the twist? So here's it's really great. And it happens pretty early in the film. It's probably about 12 minutes in. So Josh Hartnett's character is like, I need to go to the bathroom. He goes into the bathroom. And while he's going to the bathroom, he starts to notice there's like a lot of police presence all around this place where they're having the concert. But he goes into the bathroom and he opens his phone, and there's like this young guy like tied up in a room, and he's just monitoring to make sure everything's going okay with that. So he's kidnapped a kid, and he's got him tied up. And it's like, what's going on with this guy? You know, what's going on? And you're still like giving him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's something more to it, and he's not. Maybe there's another story behind this kid. Maybe that kid's evil or something, like possessed by a demon. That's sort of thoughts that are going through your head, because you've been presented with a character that you really have started to like. And he's played by Josh Hartnett. He's a very likable actor. But he's not. He actually turns out to be a serial killer, and he's kidnapped this kid, and he plans on killing him. Now, apparently there's been some information given to the cops, and there's a big SWAT team outside the place, and they're surrounded the whole place. They know that the serial killer, for some reason, is going to be at that concert, and they're checking out every man there. They're not letting anybody leave until they can maybe confirm that he is the killer. Now, there is an older lady who is a profiler there, who knows that she'll be able to figure it out for some reason. So he figures it out, the police presence, and he starts to kind of investigate. He starts kind of questioning some of the employees. He does it like I say, he's a very manipulative person, very charismatic, and he's able to get information from people, and he's able to steal this one guy's like security badge, and he's able to go in the back and go and listen to the cops meeting. He steals one of their walkie-talkies. He's able to listen to it. But the film throughout it kind of puts you, because it kind of puts you in the shoes of the serial killer, kind of like in Dexter. But this guy's not like Dexter. Dexter, he kind of like kills people who are assholes or killers themselves. But here, this guy he's just a serial killer, just killing people for the love of it. But it puts you in the shoes of this serial killer, and you kind of, myself, when I was watching the film, you kind of want him to get out of the situation, kind of, because he is the main character of the film, and he's played by Josh Hartnett, and he's it kind of builds a lot of tension and a lot of anxiety as he's trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. And his daughter starts to pick up on him. She's like acting kind of weird. Now, I'm not going to spoil the whole film, but that's a big chunk of the film that takes place there, and it works very well. And it's one of the films where I think watching it's very easy to watch without getting bored, because there's a lot at stake here for this character, and you're just kind of following him trying to escape in different ways, and it's all done fairly well. Now, this does have the potential to go dark several times in different places, and it most of the time chooses not to go too dark, which I guess it got a PG-13 rating. It could have easily have gone a lot darker in a lot of places. Like I say, I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, but none of the other twists that happen are mind-blowing, but they work within the film. So let's take a quick look at the packaging. Now, this one did come with a slipcover, and we're going to slip it off very nicely like so. On the inside, we have the same artwork on the slipcover as on the insert. Now the reversible side of this insert is just a white blank sheet. That's all it is. On the inside, we have just one disc, and that is none other than a 4K UHD. There unfortunately is not a Blu-ray counterpart here. And we do have a digital code on the reverse side of this, which I'm not going to reveal in this video in case somebody were to try to like zoom in and steal the code and download it. We're not doing that. This is a WB release, and that's pretty much all the bells and whistles we got. Talk a little bit about the 4K transfer. This is a brand new 2024 film. It looks fantastic as far as the way it's shot. I think Shyamalan's definitely come a long ways as a filmmaker here. I think that he handles this concert thing. You feel like you're in the concert, and you feel like you're following this guy, even though it's not like a handheld like thing that follows him from there to there. But you just kind of feel. He directs it very well, and it's shot in such a way that it keeps your attention, and it doesn't I think some of his older films, especially like The Village and stuff, sometimes it was shot kind of artsy, or he'd like leave it hanging for a long time trying to leave a shot. But this one keeps your attention the whole time. I was never bored during it. Some of the things that may be a little annoying, some of the micro twists later, but it still all works within the frame of the film. The 4K transfer looks terrific. I think you have here what you expect from a 4K transfer on a new film. And all the blacks are very deep. The details are it's what we love to see on these 4K movies when we put them in, and we know that we're seeing it. Maybe in the theater it might have looked better, but we know we're seeing it as probably the best as it can look. Typically the flesh tones are naturally lit that for the whatever lighting they're in. And it all looks fantastic. I highly recommend the 4K version. I don't have a Blu-ray, so I can't compare it. But the Blu-ray probably, if they had a Blu-ray with a 4K transfer, it would probably look very similar. I'm going to go ahead and rate the film on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. I'm going to rate this. Now, this is a new film, and I might change my point of view on it eventually, but I'm going to rate it a 4. I really enjoyed the film. I think there are some flaws to it, but as far as I think Shyamalan's back in rare form for him, or good form after some of his newer movies have been better. I know he had a few, like Lady in the Water, which I didn't like, and the Last Airbender. I know he had a few that he kind of got off track with it, but here I think he's back in form, and maybe even better directing wise than I've seen some of his others. I think he's a good director in general. I think he does a good job here. Let me know what your thoughts are on the film if you've seen it, and if you like this new 4K release, or if you saw it in the theater. And if you haven't done so already, if you go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm Dave Watkins. Thanks for watching.